to my bedroom, if you wanna come to my bedroom, if you wanna come to my, if you wanna come to my bedroom, if you wanna come to my bedroom, I can be there if you want to. If you wanna come to my bedroom, I can be there if you want to.
Okie dokie. Fill her up. Oh, we only have a little bit left. Okay, and we're on air.
Goose!
Hey, can you replace that? I'm bringing in the trash. You are missing out. Wow. You have to try this. Come here. Quick.
That's so good.
Isn't that good?
Oh my God.
I know.
Welcome back to Spritz Chips. Our Spritz for tonight, a glass of Sauvignon Blanc. Our chip for tonight, Julia made us a bowl of Frosted Flakes, which we don't really ever eat cereal, but she bought one of those small boxes, those minis. Actually, I did. I bought it. And she bought the macadamia nut milk. So we're having Frosted Flakes with macadamia nut
It's so good.
milk. Here, let me make you bite the bites that you like.
Lots of milk, just a few crumbles.
Yeah. I'm the opposite.
Oh my God. Okay, that macadamia milk is so good. Are you kidding?
So good.
It's delicious. It's the only like plant-based milk that doesn't have like a ton of like flavor. But like it's not watery.
Ow.
That's so crooked. Are you serious?
This is a good song. This might be the new vlogger song.
I like it.
Hey, Goose. Ew. Stop. You're the embarrassing mom. All of our kids are gonna be like, ew, mom did this today. She embarrassed us, Dad.
And you're like, everyone always goes, Hunter going through the dad jokes, like whatever.
Yeah, I got the dad jokes that kids laugh at. You got the embarrassing mom moments. You're gonna blast in the book fair.
We're both showing up at the book fair.
I feel like we're gonna both be
Like
part of
crackheads.
Are we both
We're
gonna-
obsessed with book fair.
We're in the PTA.
Of course. I'm gonna be class mom. Well, I don't know.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. Okay.
But my kids will be in Boy Scouts. We will do a pine tar derby.
What's a pine tar derby?
It's where each kid gets a block of wood and they have to build a little car that they race at the pine wood. Oh no, not pine tar. The pine wood derby.
Pine wood derby.
It's
Okay.
a piece of pine wood, piece of pine
Okay.
that you make into a little car that you race with the Boy Scouts. It's done like a little track.
Cute. And I cut myself opening this bottle of wine. Hunter, do I need to put this in the wash? It's gonna stain off.
Yeah, it's staying. It's red wine.
I don't know if it's gonna be good, but it says it's
It's
popular.
a Sonoma Coast Pinot Noir.
It's
It's
like crema.
what-
Which is like a classic, but like I don't know if it's good.
Cheers.
I can't remember. I think it's oaked. Oaky, but it's fine.
Drinkable.
It's oaky.
Okay.
Okay.
So, this is another episode of a Spritz and Chips dilemma version. And a dilemma can be anything from a friendship catastrophe, a hard breakup, a relationship issue, or just like, maybe it's like you telling us something that's good about your life that's going on and you just want us to chat about it. Anything.
Yeah. Any dilemma you have in your life, in any relationship, romantic, friendship, family, etc.
Yeah. We give you our best advice. Julia asks
If you're new.
for dilemmas on Instagram. That's typically
Yeah.
where we get your feedback and requests. You can send them over to Julia or myself. Sometimes Julia's like messages get pretty deep. So
yeah, send them to Hunter.
Send them to me.
We'll
You're
definitely
more likely to get answered and read on this video if they're in my inbox because it's just less crowded. I'm not as popular as my lovely wife. It's the truth. Okay.
Okay.
Cue numero uno. Hi, Julia and Hunter. I'm so excited for Spritz and Chips to come back. So are we. Basically, I'm in my second year of college and I'm still having the hardest time making any friends. I broke up my friendship with my best friend of 12 years last year because she was really toxic and affected me mentally. We covered this one yesterday. We're gonna move on to the next one. Hey Julia, love your videos so much and I just had a dilemma I've been going through the past couple of months. I found out that my boyfriend of 3 years had cheated on me over text with this other girl for about a 2-week period. When I confronted him about it, he immediately was remorseful and crying and begged me not to leave him, etc. Classic. I decided to give him another chance because it was the first time this happened. Since then, our relationship has grown closer, but I still can't help but feel insecure or upset sometimes when I think about it.
Of course.
Do you think that is a sign that maybe this isn't going to work out, or do you guys think there is redemption from that? This was about almost 3 months ago, and this is somebody I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. I still want to, but sometimes it still bothers me. What should I do?
Oh, sweetheart. Okay, wait, so he cheated for 2 full weeks.
Yeah, a boyfriend of 3 years
It's not
had
right,
cheated on me over text with this other girl for about a 2-week period.
Could be worse. Oh, I feel for her. That's
I feel for you, I'm sorry.
sad.
I just sometimes when I hear like someone cheating over text, it's somewhat comical because like there's like a piece of that that's like flirtatious. There's a piece of that that's just like horny SOB kind of thing where it's like some girl's giving him attention and he's taking it, and maybe she's being flirtatious and maybe she even initiated it and tempted him and he responded, and whatever that might be.
Yeah.
He did it.
Thing is that the sense
Sorry
of,
you're having to go through that, by the way.
That's
sad.
sorry, and the sense of relief that you can feel is that it is nothing to do with you, and it's all about him and his insecurities and his weaknesses, and that's why he acted that way. It has nothing to do with you. It's not your fault. Nothing. So
there could be things in your relationship that you can be proactive about to help prevent stuff like that from happening.
Yes.
Not like it's on you that it happened that way. Like you're definitely like essentially the victim in this case, and it's not your fault. However, at the same time, maybe he feels like he's not getting enough physical affection from you or something like that. That doesn't mean he should go off and do what he did. However, that might be something he is lacking and maybe feeling in y'all's relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And
he didn't know how to verbalize.
Maybe he did express it. Maybe he didn't know how to express it.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless, I think that is like a little small piece on you in the sense that you can have that conversation with him. And now that this has happened, now you know like that's something that maybe there was something lacking. Be proactive with presenting that conversation and saying like, hey, look, I love you. I don't want this to happen again. Let's chat about this.
Like, whether it's in themselves, it's in their relationship, whatever. So like you guys need to have a conversation, and if somebody is like willing to do that, like you guys like definitely need to be more on the same page. Like, what are we doing in this relationship? If like you're doubting anything and those types of thoughts are being had at all, like you guys gotta like get a grip on that and like get together and be like, well, what's up, what's going on, and where are we at? And like keep going, because there's no point in putting that much effort, in my opinion, into a relationship if you're not like in it for the long haul. Yeah,
and let me just say that everything we're saying is not the right way. These are just like additional perspectives that we're trying to challenge you to think about.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily like I'm right or she's right or one of us is wrong or you're wrong or anything like that. We're just trying to open your mind to think about the situation differently to maybe like help resolve the problem.
Totally. But I do want to affirm you in the fact that you're feeling the way that you do. Totally acceptable.
Yeah.
Yes, you should be feeling like scared and insecure, and those are all normal feelings to feel when this kind of situation happens.
Moving on.
Okay, next question. My boyfriend and I recently got engaged, but we've been living together for about a year now. We were curious about when we should combine our finances. Do we combine our finances? I was raised by a single mom, and his parents aren't exemplary in terms of finances. We've been basically just splitting everything thus far, including groceries, furniture, decor, rent, utilities, etc. And no complaints to that process whatsoever. We just want to be smart on how we should move our financial relationship forward / if we even need to. He makes more than I do, if that impacts anything. However, I do a lot more in savings than he does due to money I received from a will. We did see a financial advisor, but I didn't like the suggestions they made on how to invest our money separately. So I thought I would get another perspective from you guys.
My first thought is to say that y'all are already engaged, y'all are gonna get married. If you desire to combine your finances at all, might as well do it now. Like, do it now while you're planning your wedding and planning like what your future actually looks like. That's not necessarily the right way. That's the way we did it. So we actually combined our finances, I think even before we got engaged. Like right before we got engaged. Right?
Yeah.
Just because like we knew we were gonna
We
get
just like
engaged.
didn't care. We were like, at this point we're doing everything together and like it's all coming from the same place. So like it doesn't make the difference to us.
And all of our money was going into, like all of our income was going into the same place, and that we were then able to come up with a plan financially together. So like, okay, here's what we're gonna budget. When we were first out of college, like we weren't making a ton of money. We had to like be very specific on what we were budgeting. We were both living with my parents at the time, and then we combined our finances, and then we were paying for an apartment for Julia. So Julia moved out of my parents' house. We got her an apartment. I still lived with my parents until we got married, but we were collectively paying for Julia's apartment while she was living there, and then once we got married, I moved in to the apartment with her.
Yes.
That's just an example of what we did. Once again, not the right way.
A tick. A tick. A tick. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. You gotta get it off. You gotta get it off. It's in the ear. You gotta get it off now.
Goose, stop. Hold his face. Does he have any more?
I don't know. You're gonna have to check.
Okay, got this one off.
Goose, you gotta get off the couch.
Now that he's running through all those like cornfields
I
and stuff, we
know.
should probably start checking them.
I agree. Put it out. Sorry. Pause.
Look, y'all are one now. You're getting married.
Yeah.
That's like in reality, you're becoming one central family unit.
Yeah.
The money he makes, the money you make, it's all going into y'all's family now.
It's just money.
And so when you're paying the mortgage, it's coming out of y'all's bank account, which is essentially half from each.
Yeah.
The only thing that's like different, if y'all make a different amount of money, is how much money is left over after you pay all your bills. And at that point, y'all can decide how to budget that, how much goes into your savings, how much goes towards vacations, and that's like a thing that y'all do together.
You do together, yeah, exactly. And it's like, no matter who makes more, who makes less, you put it all together and you make the decisions together. It's not one person's money, it's both of your money.
Yeah.
That's just the way that we see it though, but if you guys don't feel comfortable with that, if it doesn't work for you, that's okay. But that's how we approach it.
Yeah.
So
when you're asking when you should combine finances, I don't think there's a reason to necessarily wait. Y'all are engaged, y'all are getting married. Might as well start now and start like working together and getting the hang of it before you get married. Why not?
Yeah. Moving right off of that, another finance question. How to deal with finances in an early marriage. We have been dating for 6 years, but we got married in August and now have a joint checking account, and I hate budgets in all caps. Give your best advice. Oh, and we are 22 and 23 for reference, and we both have full-time jobs. Okay, I don't know what that means.
She hates budgets.
Like she doesn't want to be restricted?
I don't know if that means that you don't like budgeting, like you don't like doing the budget, or you don't like having a budget put on you by your man.
Right, okay, well this is the thing, is that when you get married, I feel as though when you get married, it's that finances, you become more of an adult and finances become more real. It's not that the marriage is what's putting the strain on the finances, it's the fact that you're growing up. And so don't confuse those things. It's just like you're becoming an adult, you have to learn how to budget, and it does kind of suck. It sucks.
Yeah, you might not can get your nails done every month, but rather every 2 months. There's like give and takes for sure.
Totally, and you figure out what's worth it to you and just talk about that. If you want to get your nails done every 2-3 weeks, you will make that happen, and maybe you're gonna have to give something in somewhere else, but it's just part of life. It does nothing to do with the marriage, so kind of separate that.
But one thing that's really important is that the give and takes from both of you should be equal. When you combine your finances, what you're doing is you're saying, hey, this money's our money, it's equal across the both of us.
Yeah.
We're both gonna have to give up things. You're like, hey dude, you've been drinking a lot of beer lately, your alcohol budget's you know, you only have a certain amount per month or per week or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Those are terrible examples, but they're actually real examples that people deal with. And so set up a budget that is not just so hardcore. Like, be lenient with yourself. Like, you may everyone spends more than they desire. It's a fact.
Yeah.
Like, everyone has regret purchases.
Yeah.
Everyone looks back and, like, you buy something the next day, you're like, oh, I don't know if I should have bought that. And then a year goes by and you forget you even bought that thing. It's not a big deal. Like, you end up making up for it.
Totally.
And so, never stress about making a financial mistake. Never stress about taking a risk. Like, in terms of budgeting, set it up. Try to follow it as close as possible and be equal across the board, no matter how much each of you make.
Love that. Okay.
Done. Moving on.
Moving on. We've got... Alrighty, so here's the thing. My boyfriend and I are together for about 1 year now, and maybe it's a little too soon, but to be honest, I can't imagine my future without him.
Celebrated an anniversary and shared our opinions about weddings and stuff, hitting the conversation about future. I was telling him about how I actually feel, and he wasn't sure about it. He wasn't sure about his, saying he can imagine wanting to live life and gather experiences. I'm not even mad at him. We're only 19. It's completely okay to be unsure. However, I'm having the impression he wants it less than me. Plus, I'm afraid of becoming really clingy.
Okay.
Interessant. So, you're feeling it. You want the dude, you want the D. I get it. Don't we all? That didn't come off right. You want to get married, you want the ring, you want it all. So, you're afraid that you want it more than he does. You're afraid that he doesn't want it as much as you, etc.
Well, I think that it was really good that you were honest and you put yourself out there and you put yourself on the line, even though you didn't get the response that you wanted, maybe. And maybe he doesn't feel that way. Maybe he's scared, maybe he's immature, maybe he really actually does want to be with you, but he doesn't know how to say that yet. It could be a lot of different things, but I think that you should have no regrets about what you said. And I would, you don't want to force anyone to like be in a relationship with you. Not that you're going to force him, but if he needs to go explore his life while he's in his like low 20s and then come back and maybe you guys end up being together in the future, like you don't want to hold him back from that. Even though that's
at the same time,
a dagger.
Let me just point out, I hate doing this, but let me point out that you're 19.
Yeah.
What I mean is you have a lot of life to live, and that's one thing he's right about, is that there's a lot of life experiences ahead of both of you, not just him.
Yeah.
It's ahead of you as well. And you're so young that you shouldn't be stressing about it.
Yeah.
However, you're not too young to be in love, so I'm not discounting that.
But I think it's normal for him to feel that way.
It's normal for him to feel that way. It's also normal for you to feel the way you're feeling right now. But what I will say, you have time for your pursuits to be in line. So like, you're going through life together right now. By the time you're 21, 22, like that's been 3 more years of life that y'all have experienced together or separately or whatever the situation is, where maybe he's ready at that point. And by that time, maybe you're not. Maybe you're like, well, man, I've been here and I want to go to Australia now and live there for a full year or travel the world or something like that. Or maybe I'm going to go take a job in New York like someone else recently wrote in. Like you have so much ahead of you, so don't stress about it. Just enjoy the moments you have with him. And if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, then there's someone else better for you.
Totally, and I think take it as an opportunity to grow, even though it wasn't like a time that you were expecting it to. Which, okay, now I have to share my story about my high school boyfriend because I feel like this relates. Okay, so
she found her prince.
Exactly. Okay, so
you
guys.
That's the whole point. We can skip that story.
No, quickly in a nutshell because I feel like this is.
I'm gonna grab some wine.
Okay, so I was with my high school boyfriend in high school, obviously.
He was your high school sweetheart.
Sweetheart. I was so young. I was so in love with him.
He was 2 grades older than you?
1 grade.
1 grade?
I thought he was the one. I was gonna marry him. Well, he dumped my ass, and I was so depressed. I literally was like, "What is my life?" I freaked out, and I was like, "I don't know what I'm even doing. Where do I go? What do I do?" I was like, "We are getting married." I was so sure of it. And then
You were living in LA at the time.
I was. My life completely turns upside down. And I was like, what now? And I actually had to explore my life and become like independent because I wasn't with him anymore. So while it was super scary, which I could see maybe you would be in this situation right now, I ended up like, you know, switching schools. I went after my studies. I got a scholarship. I transferred to Texas.
And you had a long-term boyfriend
where I met
between you
Hunter.
as well.
I did. I had
So
a
like,
boyfriend
there's
between-
steps. It's not like you just
There's
find
steps.
your next person right after that.
Totally. And like, it all worked out for the best. So like, while it might be really hard in the moment, you might be like, what is happening? This was not what I envisioned. I promise it'll all work out, and like, God's like got it going on.
And all of
you
this
know?
is not to say that he's not the right one for you.
Totally
It's just
not.
saying
I'm
that,
just saying
like,
if that's the case.
What is right for you will be found, whether it's him or
Exactly.
the next step.
Exactly.
Or the
you
third
guys
step.
come back together in a few years, like it will work out, I promise.
Yep.
Okay, here's a new one. Hello. So I'm in total love with my boyfriend of 4 years. We're 21, and we plan on getting married and having a life together when we are financially stable. He's the youngest sibling, and I'm the oldest sibling, so therefore I feel like I've had to grow up and get my shit together faster than him. Yes. I have a great credit score and pay all of my own bills and make a decent wage for my age, as well as plan weddings as my second source of income, and I'm looking to start having a third.
There you go.
That's great.
Cheers to you, girl.
Cheers. He has no credit. He works his one job, which is completely fine because he's a workaholic. He pays for his own phone under my name because he has no credit. We keep saying we want to move out and live together, but it's like I just can't get him to take that next step to being an adult. Like, I do his laundry and will clean his room just because he sometimes won't, and I want him to have clean clothes. I don't know how to get him to grow up or how to have that conversation with him. This isn't even everything. This is just the main thing that worries me. Also, he is financially responsible. He doesn't spend willy-nilly like me. Okay.
These are
I feel
all
like
just
that's
like
fine.
very common things to worry about.
Totally.
And they're actually not even common things to worry about. They're common things you shouldn't be worried about because they're so normal. For instance, Julia's credit was shit and probably still is horrible.
I actually had some credit because I actually like paid for things, but you didn't have credit.
I didn't have credit, but I
He
built
didn't have credit when I met him, and I did, but mine wasn't very good. But that
When
didn't
she
mean-
met me, I didn't have any credit. She had some credit, but it
Yeah.
was bad. By the time we got married and we were wanting to buy a house, I had really good credit.
Kinda
She
all
still
equal.
had shitty credit, okay?
It's a Nancy.
So when we, it's not a blame.
It is.
So when we bought our first house, we had to keep her off of the loan and the title and all that kind of stuff because her credit was bad.
Yeah.
When we bought our second house, we had to do it again. We had to keep her off the credit. We had to keep her off the loan. So you don't have a single loan.
This
in
is
your
how
name anymore.
clueless I am about this stuff. Wait, I
So,
know.
so yeah. You
Both the
don't,
houses are under your name?
both the houses are under my name. So if we get a divorce, you're homeless.
Screw
I'm just kidding. Okay, so I say that because, not to brag by any means. I just had better credit than she did. On the other hand, my clothes are everywhere. I don't pick up after myself. I'm shitty at doing laundry. She is
You
a
guys,
lifesaver.
it's a give and take.
It's a give and take. And so, all that, although he's the one with the bad credit and he's not good at laundry, I'm sure there's things about you that aren't as good either.
Exactly.
And he could probably write in a question to us and have similar complaints that are just specific to you.
Totally.
And
but
so-
you guys love each other.
Yeah.
And that's what you do. Like, I have conversations with Heather all the time, and he's like, look, I just can't even go in the laundry room. And like, as much as I want to literally poke his eyeballs out and I'm like, I don't want to do your laundry, like, I do it because I love him. I know he doesn't want to do it, so I just do it.
It's one of those things
And he
that, like,
does things
it's
for me that he doesn't want to do either.
a lot of things. And if he was, let's say, this is one of those situations, like, if he was to, this sounds terrible, if he was to pass, for instance, if he was to just, like, drop dead, you would be like,
You wouldn't
I wish
care.
there was one more day where I could do his laundry.
You wouldn't care.
It's not that big of a deal. It's something that you should take as like a privilege that you get to do your husband's or your boyfriend's laundry, your future husband.
Okay, it's not a, I'm sorry, it's not a
Not a
privilege, but it's,
sorry, that's not what I meant. I mean, like,
I know what you're saying, actually.
I would say the same thing to him if he's like, she doesn't cook and I have to cook her meal. I'd say, dude, it's a privilege that you get to cook her meal. Like, you get to make her happy. You get to like put love and energy into it to like create y'all's little family and setup.
But,
I
okay.
still want to work to do my laundry better. I want to take that off your plate.
Okay, I kind of get this though because, okay, this is, wait, is that drawer fixed?
I mean,
It looks pretty smooth, doesn't
it's
it?
pretty smooth.
It looks even.
It's not bad. We
Okay.
put a lot of energy into that one. Time out. I don't mean to say it that way. I don't mean to sound like, oh, it's a privilege to do his laundry.
No, I know what you're saying.
What I mean is like you should be
your situation's
thankful
not
that
bad.
you have like someone who loves you.
Yes.
And someone that you love, because it's not like I don't know if my boyfriend loves me and he's cheating on me and all that stuff. It's like he doesn't pick up his clothes. Like, help him create a better habit at doing that. And in the meantime, do his laundry.
Okay.
It's not that big of a deal.
This is the thing, that these aren't relationship breakers, you guys. These are real relationships. This is a classic, I feel like, submission of like what just any normal person in a relationship would be like, oh, these are my issues, XXXX. It's not like a deal breaker. Everyone experiences this. So yes, you're in love, and yes, this is reality, and this is a relationship, and it only just kind of magnifies when you're married.
Sounds like you have a fantastic relationship with some cool idiosyncracies.
Exactly.
So
Everything's great.
Is that you should get his ass in check and say, hey bro, you gotta pick up a little bit. Let's meet in the middle. Let me help you.
Right, or we're both adults and you say, look, I do your laundry and I pick up the house because this is something that's really important to me. And I want you to value this as important to you as well. If it's not something that you like to do, well, where else can we kind of meet in the middle? Maybe it's that he does the dishes every night.
Maybe it's he puts Tanner on your back.
Shut up.
Maybe it's something like that, where you just,
you know, it's a give and take. Just, make the compromise.
Make the compromise and ask him to put loving tan
on your back.
On the back that you can't reach.
You know what I mean? I think you've got a good one. I think he's sweet and he's trying, and he doesn't sound that bad. He sounds like he has it together. I mean, cut him some slack, you know, and just.
What if he
how high can his sycamore grow? If you cut it down, you'll never know.
He could write in right now and say, you know what, I'm married, I'm dating this chick. She spends way more than I do. I'm pretty frugal. Because you even said it. You spend more than he does, and he's pretty financially stable. Meet in the middle. Y'all are good.
I love your guys' channel so much. Thank you. Funny when you posted the stories for Spritz yesterday, because I thought my relationship was great. I felt something off of my boyfriend all day though, and he messaged me today while I was working saying he feels weird and doesn't feel the same anymore. I don't know what to do. I live with him because I have nowhere else to go. We've been together for 2 years and I want to spend my life with him. Oh boy.
It's normal to feel weird in a relationship. Even married couples feel weird. There's like times where you're off, like when you're both stressed out or there's a lot going on, you feel distant. Like, it's normal to feel weird. I don't know if he's feeling weird or if he's feeling like he's not in it anymore. Like, we don't have enough context there. But the way I read it is that
I think that you guys definitely need to have a conversation about like what that was about in person, not over text. I am not a fan of texting.
When he said he doesn't feel, when he said he doesn't feel the same anymore, that makes me think no one says that unless they're like, he's either very honest and transparent about where he's at that moment in time. Yeah. Which is possible, but almost unlikely. If he's saying he doesn't feel the same anymore, it's probably about like y'all's relationship. And maybe it's time y'all, like, maybe he's trying to move on and he wants you to like let him move on. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. But it's a conversation you have to have. You need to have in person. Have a bottle of wine, chat about it. It's not gonna be easy, but you'll get through it and you will be okay. Like, you're gonna figure it out. Like, I promise you, the circumstances will work itself out. If you guys aren't meant to be together right now, you will. You always have somewhere to go. You will. Yep. You will survive. Okay. Boyfriend doesn't like to talk about feelings or like when I like to talk about mine. Say that again. Boyfriend doesn't like to talk about feelings or when she likes to talk about hers. Normal. Yeah. It's not necessarily how we are. Like, I think we get pretty deep in discussion sometimes. We do. But that's because, like, that's like our people style. Don't understand everyone is so freaking different. Yeah. Every person, every relationship, everyone's upbringing. And so getting deep and being emotional and revealing who you are, that takes practice. I think you're gonna have to be like super gentle with him. It's like dealing with a child. Is it feelings towards each other or just like emotional feelings in general? I think in general. Yeah, I think that you're gonna have to be like super gentle and sensitive and like kind of like
yeah, it's like being like around like a baby. Like you have to like really softly pull it out.
There's a piece of awareness there too. It's like, are you trying to talk to him about your feelings like every night?
Right, totally. It's like, how about just save it for when, okay, that sounds bad, but you should be with somebody that can match your emotional level. So can handle your emotions as much as you want to talk about them. You should feel comforted.
You also don't want to be a downer. You don't want, it's like, when I hear that, I instantly think emotions are like negative emotions. Like, obviously he's down to talk about his positive emotions. I would think anyone wants to talk about positive emotions. So don't use emotions to describe like when you're feeling down. That is an emotion, but that doesn't encapsulate the word emotions. Don't just talk to him about negative things and approach him when you want to talk about something that you're feeling down about, or when you're feeling down, or when you're PMSing, or when you had a frustrating day, or when you're stressed out. Like, communicate in general.
Yeah, and I think it's normal for people to be scared to talk about their emotions. And if he comes to you with something negative and he is actually open about it, you have to be like super positive and like give him positive reinforcement so that he feels comfortable to open up again in the future.
Right.
You know?
Raw.
Because if you give a bad reaction, then like he's never gonna want to talk to you.
Right. The drinks.
The drinks.
This is a long one. Here we go.
Here we go.
Boyfriend and I have been together for a while and ready to take things to the next level, but his mom is so toxic and is single, so she's always butting in our relationship and is a drunk and always gets mad when we don't invite her to anywhere we go. Most of the time, we really don't even do anything because she will get mad. We both still live at each of our parents' house, two are financially stable to live together. So it's hard to cope with this. We never have problems unless it's with her because she interferes in our relationship, but my boyfriend also doesn't say anything because he doesn't want to hurt her feelings, which upsets me more because how will she ever know boundaries? She continually will be negative and she's the most negative person I have met. I've never dealt with a drunk and this is my first real relationship in dealing with parents of my spouse, so I need guidance and advice because I feel sometimes I'm falling out of love with my boyfriend because of her. She's a big barrier. I'm a big believer in that once you find the one, you break away from your parents and become like you create your own family. And so like, although you should respect and honor your parents, both of y'all, you should still break away from them and create your own family and live the life that you desire to live. With that though, out of respect for you, he should stand up for y'all and stand up against his mom. I would say
think that's really hard.
It is really hard. I would also say if she if she's a drunk, I don't know if that you're saying she's an alcoholic. Being an alcoholic
probably
is a disease.
Yeah.
Gotta cope with that as well.
Totally. That's
it's
like
not
a whole
her
nother
fault
thing.
necessarily. Like
she's
alcoholics
sick.
and drug addicts, they're just like sick people.
They're like under a spell.
Yeah, like it's truly not their fault. I think a lot of people look at them as if it's their fault.
Right.
And treat them differently because of it. But I would say that's a struggle in itself, dealing with her as an alcoholic, if that's what she is.
Yeah.
However, her butting in, that's also a sign of how lonely she is. You mentioned she's lonely, and so she's butting in because she's lonely. She's probably insecure because she has no one else, and so she looks for problems because that's the only thing that she has in her life is a problem to.
She's obviously, if she's a drunk, she's like very broken on the inside, and she doesn't have anything or very much self-esteem. So you have to have compassion for that, which is also really hard. I totally see where you're coming from. And I think that you guys have to decide collectively as a couple what your boundaries are in order to keep your relationship safe, because it clearly is affecting your relationship. And did you say damn?
Going off. Going off over there.
You have to keep your relationship safe, and like you're saying, you think you're falling out of love with him. Well, you might not be, but it's just the circumstances that's happening. Obviously, that's like very emotionally traumatic.
Or you could be, if that's getting in the way of y'all's relationship and that's forcing you to fall out of love with him or making you think that, then maybe you are, and maybe you didn't love him to begin with. I don't know.
That's hard though.
It is hard.
I'd be annoyed.
Yeah, hell yeah, I would be annoyed too.
Like, that's really difficult to deal with. Like, not everyone's just like so patient. Like, it's like, oh, it's fine.
No, I know, but what I mean is though, maybe you're not falling out of love with him. It's either two things. Maybe you were never in love with him, or maybe you are in love with him and you're still in love with him, but you're frustrated with him that he's not sticking up for y'all against his mom. Because it doesn't sound like it's a mom problem. It sounds like it's like a boyfriend against the mom problem. Like,
totally.
It's y'all's relationship
It's not her.
against the mom.
Yeah.
He needs to take a stand, and like, she's gonna be the way she is. She's been that way for however long.
Exactly. It's not about you.
She's lived a much longer life than y'all have. She's developed in her ways. She's probably not gonna change, especially if she's a drunk.
No.
So y'all have to learn how to cope around that and cope with the way that she is.
Create a boundary.
Create a boundary and create a new life together that's separate from her. Ugh, part the seas, Moses.
Yeah.
Part the
and
seas.
you guys should have a serious come to Jesus conversation about what needs to happen and what needs to take place. And it's gonna be super messy. It's not gonna be easy. And he's gonna have that conversation with her. Like, look, you can't come around us when you're drinking, or we only see you on these days, and like, that's how it's gonna happen as long as you're drinking, alcohol's involved, blah, 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 whatever.
My parents aren't drunks. They're incredible people. Her parents aren't drunks. They're incredible people. We are both blessed to have like amazing parents.
Yeah.
With that, we still had to create really hard boundaries to say, this is our relationship, this is our life, this is the way we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
We want to do it in a way that still respects you and still honors you. Obviously, you don't have to say those words, but I think it's known. Like, we love our parents,
even with like
and
a healthy dynamic.
We still want their approval. We still desire their approval, and we still want them to, like, be proud of us as their kids. However, we're still going to live the life that we see fit for us.
Mm-hmm.
Because we got married, we created a new family unit that's built off two separate family units, so it's hard to like create that boundary, but you have to.
Totally.
No matter who you are, you might have the best relationship with your parents ever, you still have to create boundaries.
Cheers to that.
How do you have the boyfriend talk, meaning official?
Oh my God, there's so
How
many
to bring it
questions.
up? Should I? Yeah, if you like him and you want him to be your boyfriend, be like,
tell him.
look, homie, we've been together for 3 weeks now.
Can you
3
get?
days, 3 years.
Can you get over someone cheating in a marriage, whether it was physical or emotional?
Yes.
Yes, I think you can. I think you can.
He or she also has to be willing to do so.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, you can. So, and you will. You'll get over it, whether it's with that person or someone else. You'll get over it.
Totally.
Keep that chin up.
Advice on marrying someone with different religious views. Morals and values are the same though. I love you guys and feel like me and Julia are the same person. I watch every video. Aww. Love you. I think if you guys have the same morals and values, I think it seems to be okay, but you should definitely have that conversation about the religious differences and how you want to raise your kids.
Religion is morals and values.
Right.
Spirituality is slightly different. And so...
One and the same.
Huh?
Yeah.
Spirituality is separate from religion.
I agree.
Like, I think religion can definitely can be role-based.
Agree.
I think spirituality is like what you actually believe in and who you are.
Well, like, okay, so like, let's say she is Muslim and he's Jewish. If like, at the end of the day, they're kind of like, that's just how they grew up religiously, but like, their morals are the same, then like, I think they'll be fine. But they both have to know going into it, how are we gonna raise our kids? Are we going to be going to church?
Right.
You have to be on the same page.
Here's my thing. We both
That's
are
intense.
Christian. I grew up Christian. Julie grew up Catholic, Christian.
Yeah.
Sorta.
Yeah. Not as intensely.
But I wanted to make that known as I come into this answer. So let's say he's Muslim and she's Christian. Although I'm a Christian, I would say y'all both need to go into y'all's relationship, if y'all are gonna be together, open to what the other person believes in. I think ultimately y'all will find y'all's religion together.
Yeah.
If your morals and values align, you're gonna find your spirituality that exists within that.
Really, like, if you're a spiritually conscious, like, religious person, then you probably are pretty like more open-minded, hopefully.
Yep.
I think your spirituality should make you more open-minded. It should not make you closed-minded. So hopefully you guys have like compassion for each other and what each other's differences are and everything like that. And so you just need to be very clear about that, and compassion and loving towards each other. Okay, I think this is really interesting because this one is more of a friendship question. Someone said, when friends are brainwashed by a church and do nothing else in their lives.
Interesting.
Okay, that's complicated.
They're very involved in their church. That doesn't necessarily mean they're brainwashed. So you need to be like more open-minded and like labeling them as that.
Correct.
First off. But what I will say is that people do definitely get caught up in
Church culture.
And they also get caught up in any group that they involve themselves in. So
Correct.
it's not just church
It's
culture.
not just church.
It's group and exclusive
cliques
in general.
in any category. It
Yep.
could be sports, it could be social, it could be church, it could be music, arts, anything.
Yeah.
So it literally is no different than anything else, but it gets judged way more harsh, and it's more complicated because it hits at like a moral level.
Don't label them as getting caught up and brainwashed.
They're
It
just
just
like going
means
through
that-
something like everybody else.
Not even
goes
going
through
through. It's like
phases.
maybe they found a deeper friend group at church. You can't blame them for that.
Yeah.
That's the group that they related to and that they feel passionate about. And everyone has a clique. Everyone has a group of people. And so I see church as like the congregation and the people at the church.
Mm-hmm.
Church isn't necessarily the religion that's tied to the church. There's a social aspect and there's a community found in any exclusive group.
Correct. You're not wrong to like that.
Right.
And I think that, yeah, don't punish them for that or judge them for that they have nothing else going on in their lives. Maybe that just helps them feel like they belong somewhere, and that's okay. And like, it's kind of like when you have a friend that gets a new boyfriend and she's so obsessed with her boyfriend, she literally talks to no one else, she drops all of her friends, and it's like she's just going through a time. Like, she is in love and she's really loving that experience, and like maybe your friends at church are just loving that experience and they have nothing else going on, and just like let them have that. If you love them and you care about them, let them enjoy that, and you'll still be there for them, but you don't have to like punish them for that. Yeah.
I'm curious on where their frustration lies. Like, are you frustrated that they're no longer hanging out with you as much? Are you frustrated and insecure that you feel judged by them because you still drink and say a curse word every once in a while and they're judging you for that? Or is it like truly like you feel distanced from them because they now have a group of friends at this church community that you're no longer a part of, or something like that? There's a variety of things to think about, and I would challenge you to think about those things. However, you're not wrong to feel hurt by them, but it's also not wrong for them to feel like they found a community in their church and live by something that they believe in. You can't judge people for what they live by.
Yeah.
Or the beliefs they have. Maybe challenge you, go to church with them one time. See what it's all about.
See what it's all about. Maybe you'll see something in them like, oh, okay, I see why they love it. And like, that's cool. What do you do when one of you has had a bad day and just needs some space? How do you manage to feel like an individual in a relationship?
We buy a piece of IKEA furniture and we lock ourselves in a room by ourselves.
I think that you totally are individuals. Like, you're always going to be different people. You're one and the same because you're in a relationship. Like, you decided to like make that commitment, so you're a unit at the end of the day. But like, yeah, of course you're always your own person, and like I don't know, I feel like you feel that.
Most of these,
I feel so different from you.
Most of these what should I do questions all comes down to communication. So in this case, it's like, what should I do when I've had a bad day and I want some of my alone time? You say, hey bro, I've had a really bad day. I love you so much, and as much as I want to be like close to you, I also really need some space right now, and I love reading. I'm gonna go read a book for an hour. Just give me an hour. I just want to read a book and kind of like just like unwind. Can you give me that time? Or I really love this Netflix show. I just want to check out for an hour. I never get this moment. Let me check out. I know you like watching football. You go watch football. I'm gonna watch this Netflix show. We'll reconvene in an hour and a half from now. I just need this time to unwind, or whatever.
Totally. And maybe the first 2 to 3 times that you say that, it might be like what the heck, like, why do you need time by yourself? Or like, it might be a conflict, so it might not be perfect the first time.
Yep.
try it a couple times, maybe third time's a charm. Maybe by the third time that you suggest it, it will start to become more normal. And
like my thing is, when I'm stressed out and I want to go check out, I might go play the guitar. Julia's cool with me doing my thing until she hears the guitar and she's like, "That's so annoying! Turn that down!" And then it's like my time.
I actually really like the guitar. I don't like you playing the guitar when we're literally like, we have to be at dinner at 8:30 and it's 8:15 and you start to play a guitar solo. I'm like, we gotta go. How to ask for being more romantic without being needy.
How to ask for being romantic without being needy. I think it's a matter of having a conversation and saying, not just straight up saying, "Hey bro, I need you to be more romantic." It's about talking about love languages like we talked about last Spritz Chips. So just saying, "Hey, what can I do to better our relationship?"
Yeah.
And starting the conversation like that. Like, "Hey, I want to have a conversation with you tonight and I want to talk about our relationship and how we can make things better. What can I do to support you more in your day-to-day? Like, what can I do to make our relationship better?
How do you feel supported and loved?
Right.
How would I feel supported and loved?"
And started out by offering that to him. And with that, obviously, there's like a give and get.
Totally.
He'll say, "What can I do for you?" Or you can say, "Hey, I'm happy to do these things for you. From my side of things, I would love this, this, and this." And like, you just drop being romantic as part of one of those 3 things that you list off. And say like, when I say romantic, I mean this, this, and this. Like, spell it out for him. Maybe he's clueless. Most guys are.
Not really. I'm pretty good. Ooh, you smell good.
Stop. I'm just naturally
I'm
romantic.
honestly like, you smell so good. Is it really that cologne?
Yeah,
No.
just like my natural scent.
You're so cute. I love you.
This pink couch may be the key, the ticket. Okay.
Okay.
We're gonna close out. I'm freaking tired. I'm like, I'm delusional. I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about.
I wish we could answer all the questions.
I know.
You guys are so many, but we're gonna keep doing this. This is like an ever-going series.
For all of you who ask
Relationship
questions, keep sending them in. If we didn't answer your question, we're super sorry. We just go through them. We just find ones like top of mind, and we just go through them and read them.
therapy. Yeah.
She's letting me sit on the couch. For all of you who we did answer a question, hopefully we didn't offend anybody. We're just trying to be super honest.
And we are not licensed therapists. We're just giving our best advice. All right, we love you.
See you soon, and
Cheers.
hope you enjoyed another episode of Spritz
And chipperoos, birth goose. Good night.